Hello friends, welcome to B.Sc.Agriculture. If you are coming to my channel for the first time, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Your subscription and likes are always motivating us. So please comment about our video in the description, and you can able to join us in the Instagram page, which is in the video description, as well as the about of the YouTube channel. So let's move to the video. In this video we are going to see about the fundamentals of entomology. I am going to cover the order Lepidoptera. So these families are said to use it to have the importance of agriculturally important families. So while seeing about the etymology of their order name, so the Lepido, which means scale, and the Terra, which is wings, so they are said to be mean to given the names because of the scaled wings, and it is said to be the second largest order in the order classification. So the common names are butterflies, moths, skippers, and these are the pictures of some of the butterflies, moths, as well as the caterpillars in which are present in the Lepidoptera family. So it is a picture of red and miller butterfly, and some of the fierce skipper butterfly images about their adult as well as egg and larva and pupa in the cocoon position. And while seeing about the characteristics, so the body is said to be wings and appendages are densely clothed with overlapping scales. So even in their body there is a presence of scales, and which used to give them color as well as rigidity as well as strength to the body and the wings during their flight time. They use it to have an insulated body which is smoothen the airflow over their body surfaces, so which is mainly useful for their flying motions. And while seeing about their mouth part, they used to have a symphonic mouth parts. So you can able to clearly see in the picture in the left side corner of this insect, and the mandibles are said to be absent, and the gallia of maxillae are greatly elongated and held together by interlocking hooks and spines present in their mouth parts, and the suctorial proboscis is coiled up like a watch spring which is present in them and kept beneath the head when not in use. So you must need to remember that. And the wings are said to be the membranous one with the presence of scales and are covered with overlapping pigment scales. So they used to call as the scaly wings, and the forewings are larger than the hind wings, and where the cross wings are said to be fewer in both of the wings. And the wings are said to be coupled either by fernate or ampliform type of wing coupling in these butterflies as well as the Lepidopteran order insects. And these are the wing coupling mechanism present in the Lepidoptera orders, which can be either fernate or amplexiform. So it's how they are said to be present. So I have given the images of fernate as well as the reticulate images of the group of orders, and the larvae are said to be polyploid erisiform type, and the mouth parts are said to be adapted for chafing with the strong mandibles present in them. So the mouth, a small group of lateral oxyli, which is a stomata, is said to be found either one side of the head in these insects. The antennae is said to be short and 3 segmented in insects. There are said to be 3 pairs of 5 segmented thoracic legs are present in the claw, with the ending of claws in the larval stage. There are 2 to 5 pairs of fleshy and segmented prolegs are said to be found in the abdomen of the insects. At the bottom of the proleg, the crotchets are said to be present in this group, so they are used for them in the mechanism of clinging in the leaves of the plants. So it's the defined picture of the Lepidopteran larvae. It's how the spiracles as well as the thoracic leg and the crotchets are said to be present in these Lepidopteran larva groups. And while seeing about the pupa, it is said to be an uptake pupa in Lepidopteran insects. It may be either naked or enclosed in a cocoon which is made up of soil, frass and silk and larval hairs. So these are the major materials where how the pupa is said to be covered. And while seeing about the life cycle of Lepidoptera, they used to undergo a complete metamorphosis stage where the egg, larva, adult as well as the pupal stages are said to be present in the moths and butterflies. So they used to undergo a complete life cycle stage. And I am once again giving you the etymology of the Lepidopteran order. So the Lepida, which means scales, and the Terra, which is wings. So the scaled wing insects are comes under Lepidopteran order. So while seeing about the identification, they used to have a coil sucking mouthpart present in their body, and as well as the forewings which are mainly covered with the scales. So these are the markable IDs present. You can able to classify the Lepidopteran orders. And while seeing about the majority of the Lepidopteran insects are grouped in the order suborder this Diatricia, which is the female insect used to have two pores. So 97% of Lepidopteran insects are said to be classified in this suborder, and the copulatory pore is mainly located in the 8th abdominal sternate and the egg pore in the 9th abdominal sternate, and the remaining insects are said to be grouped under the suborder Monotricha, in which the female insects used to have one pore. So you can able to make it as a simple classification among them. And while these are the pictures of Monotricha insect as well as the Diatricha insects. So it was just a quote you can able from the Hitler. And while seeing about the classification of families, so we used to classify the families of Lepidopteran order. The butterfly, we classify them as butterfly family, moth family, as well as the skipper family. So there are around 18 family divisions are present in Lepidoptera order in our subjects. First, we are going to see about the family Nymphalidae. So these are said to be the brush-footed butterfly, or also you can able to call as the four-footed butterflies. And the better example for Nymphalidae family is castor butterfly, where the scientific name is Ergolis merioni. It is said to be a defoliator in castors. And while seeing about the general characteristics, the forelegs are said to be short, functionless, as well as the hairy and folded on the thorax. And they used to contain many spines on their body during its larval stage, or the important characters you must need to know. And Lycanidae, so these are said to be the blue or copper as well as the hair streak butterflies. So it is mainly given due to the colors present on the scales. And the better example are the pomegranate fruit borer, where the scientific name is Bisacola isocrates is the scientific name of pomegranate fruit borer butterfly. And while seeing about the classification as well as the identification in those insects, they used to have a compound eyes with the white rimmed, and the antennae are said to be the white ringed ones. So these are the major characteristics we must need to know upon them. And they also have a metallic blue or copper color which is present in the upper wing surfaces. It's how they used to get the name of blue butterflies or else copper butterflies, as well as they used to have a hairy streak nature in them. And while seeing about the larval characteristics, they used to have a retracted head with a flattened body, or the important ones. And the third one is Papilionidae, which are said to be known as the swallow-eye butterflies are said to be present in them. So the example is citrus butterfly, and the scientific name is Papilio demolius is the name given to them. And they are said to be often large and bright colored, as well as the prothoracic legs have a tibial epiphysis, and the ampliform type of wing coupling is said to be present in them, and the larval body is either smooth or wide with tuber cells present on them. And the fourth family we are going to see is Pyridae, which used to composes of white butterflies as well as the sulfur butterflies. It is mainly given this name due to the presence of white or yellow, which is a sulfur-like color present on the scales as well as in the wings. And the larval body segments used to have unlates present on them. Example, Daincha caterpillar butterflies are comes under this one. And the scientific name is Eurema hecabe is the scientific name. And the fifth one, which is Saturday, which used to compose of browns or meadow brown butterflies. So the better example is rice horned caterpillar, where the scientific name is Melanitis is many. And while seeing about their identification spot, the wing is used to have eye-like spot on both the upper as well as the lower surface in the wings. And the color are said to be dull brown or blackish in color. And after we are going to see about the moth families. So the first family we are going to see is Agritidae, which used to compose of tiger moths. So the better example is the black hairy caterpillar, and the scientific name is Eschigmina lactinae. And the wings are said to be the conspicuously spotted or banded one, and they are mainly the nocturnal and which are attracted by the light. And the larval characters, they are said to be sparsely hairy or densely hairy. So they also used to have a name of woolly beard caterpillars. You must need to remember. And after that we are going to see is Bombycidae, which is composed of silk moth butterflies. They used to have an economic importance for the production of natural silk. So the better example is the mulberry silkworm, and the scientific name is Bombyx murray. So please remember that the Bombyx murray butterfly used to have an economic importance of producing silk materials. So they act as a source of natural silk. So the cocoon rearing are said to be most famous one for these mulberry silkworms. And while seeing about the larval character, they used to have a tuft of hairs and glabrous with the mediastem horns on the 8th abdominal segment. And the important characteristics you must need to remember, and the antenna is bipectinate. And the 8th one we are going to see is Coquillidae, which used to compose of slug caterpillars. And while seeing about the important characteristics among them, they are said to be medium to small size moths which are stout bodily built. And while seeing about the larva, which is small and refractile, where the thoracic legs are said to be minute with some kinds of hair present on them, and the pupal cocoon is hemispherical with utricating hairs present on them. So the better example is castor slug caterpillar, and the scientific name is Latoi lepidae is the scientific name. And the 9th one is Crambidae, which is the grass moth. And the better example is Sorghum stem borer, Chylopatelus is a better example. And the larva which used to bores in the root or stem and the crowns of Gramineaceae plants. And the 10th family is Gelicidae, which is a paddy moth, and the better example is cotton bill pink bollworm, and the scientific name is Pycnophora gossiphilae. And while seeing about the characteristics, the forewings are said to be trapezoidal in shape, and the hindwings are narrower than the forewings. And the caterpillars used to bore into the seed tubers as well as the leaves of the particular crop. So these are the important characters you must need to remember about the Gelicidae family. And after that, the 11th family we are going to see is Geometridae, which is mainly composed of loopers. The better example is T loopers, and the scientific name is Biston suppressoria is the better scientific name. And while seeing about the important characteristics among these group of larvae, the larva is said to be naked as well as the elongated, and the wings present on the adult are said to be angular ants, and they are said to be thin in nature. And the 12th one is Lymantidae, which used to comprise of tussock moths, and the antenna is said to be bipectinate. The larva used to have a density hair present on them, and the female is said to be provided with a tuft of anal hairs present on them. And the 13th one we are going to see is Noctidae, which used to composed of noctua moths, and the better example is tobacco cutworm, and the scientific name is Spodoptera lutura, which is one of the major pests on different group of crops, which almost used to affect the 120 group of crops. And while seeing about the characteristics, they are said to be nocturnal as well as attracted to light, and they are said to be medium sized as well as stoutly built moths. And these are the pictures of Spodoptera lutura tobacco cutworm moth. And the 14th one, Pyrastidae, which is to compose of grass borers, and the better example is rice stem borer, and the scientific name is Chirophaga insectivus. And while seeing about the characteristics, the important one is the proboscis in vestigals is said to be present in many species, and the larval habits are said to be varies. It may live among the aquatic plants and bore into the stem, or remain in the silkened web among the spun of plant pods. And some larvae are said to be aquatic as well as the gill breathing are said to be present in the larval nature. And the 5th one is which is used to compose of the moon moths as well as the giant silkworm moths, and the family is Saturnidae. So these are said to be composed of large sized moths, and the better example is Tussar silk moth, and the scientific name is Anthrapapiae. It used to for the yielding of silk rearing process, and the cocoon is said to be dense and firm in nature. And the Spingidae where you can able to see the hawk moth, sphinx moth, as well as the horn moths. So the better example is death heads moth, where the scientific name is Acroncia stink. And these group of moths used to be main defoliator on gingerly, especially the death heads moth. And the name given to them, it's because they used to have a adult moth resemblance of human skull present on the thorax of the adult moth, so that's why they used to call it as the death's head moth. And you can able to see them on the next picture. And while seeing about the moth's character, they are said to be large-eyed and stoutly built, one of the moths, and the proboscis is said to be is very long among them, and the larva used to have a mid-dorsal anal horn present in the 8th abdominal segment on them. They are said to be the powerful flyers among the moths. So these are the pictures of Acroncia stinks, the dead skull moth, where you can able to see the presence of dead skull-like structure on the thoracic region, and the larva used to have a anal horn on the 8th abdominal segment. And after we are going to see about the skipper family, Hesperidae. While seeing about them, the body is said to be stout, and the wings are said to be comparatively small, and the larval heads are said to be large, and there is a constriction beyond the head, and the larva tapers on both the extreme towards the extremities, and the larvae are often concealed in the host foliage. The better example is rice skipper, and the scientific name is Pelopidus manthius, and these are the pictures of rice skipper. So I have given the difference about the characteristics, about their habitat, being position of butterfly moth as well as the skippers in this tabular column. So please go through that so you can able to remember some of the few points during the examination. And I have given the lecture notes in description, so if you have any doubt, please comment in this section and join us in the Instagram page and ask your doubts. And also please comment about our video in the comment section so we can able to improve ourselves. So if you like the video, like it and share it with your friends, and subscribe to B.Sc.Agriculture and hit the bell icon to get regular updates. So thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you up in next videos.